I wanted to put this up this morning. It's the genealogy sheet for the O'Keefe family. Uh, this is Ireland, and this is, I'll show you what I can of it. Okay, and then here is, my grandfather and grandmom. And then there's connection back to, if you can see it, to Hungary and Holland. But anyway, my mom is Georgia O'Keeffe's sister, Claudia Ruth, and this is, I can hardly see, so it's really kind of rough at the moment. Hopefully some things work out for the best for me. Claudia Ruth. And this is Georgia, the artist, my aunt. And the rest of the family here, the O'Keeffes. O'Keeffe's coming down here from Ireland, and so the best I can do right at the moment, because some of my files have been stolen that really hurt. I wanted to show this one. I was writing about mind control murders, and didn't know that it would end up me writing about that there were the Tesla files that were stolen in 1930, but I wanted to put this up. True that by the time the FBI and federal government became involved in suppressing the Tesla scientific papers, the inventor had already skipped from the mass consciousness. Nevertheless, an air of, I can't read it, secrecy, supported by the taint of ties to, well, that's not true, call them, be lucky if it was. There was argument by the transfer of Tesla papers to Belgrade, is what they're saying here. Okay, anyway, Star Wars. Tesla's numerous inventions could be applied in a variety of military purposes. For example, partial beam weapons, worldwide radar, earthquake contrivances, brainwave manipulation, one or more magnifying transmitters could supposedly send destructive impulses through the earth in every location. Thus, a well-placed jolt of many millions of volts would theoretically destroy the communication network of any major city. Recent sources on potential future welfare technologies, stemming mainly from the games against Lieutenant Colonel Tom Bearden and parapsychologist, I don't know that person, including apparatus for seismic, weather, and mind control. According to Bearden, the Tesla magnifying transmitter produced a fundamental one-point gravity vector for electronic scalar wave that something the very fabric of space-time grid itself, and therefore is not speed of light. Part of this is out. It didn't get space-time grid. Okay. Thus, a theoretical instantaneous Tesla wave could potentially affect the planet's geomagnetic pulse and therefore be directly to any number of magnets and continents. This research is highly controversial and speculative and could be something with caution. Nevertheless, in 1977, in its May 2 issue, Aviation Week, and I don't have the rest of that. Okay, it was something about the FBI Tesla files in 43. So anyway, I wanted to put that bit up, because what I was writing about programming and all that happened to be about Tesla files and programming people to shoot, and like they shot Larry Flint, Governor Wallace, John Lennon. They were programmed. Okay, I've told that Larry well, okay, let me get back to this. I had letters from a reporter friend of mine that saved my life. Actually, is FBI. And I had some very good letters, and over time, I don't know, I had many. And he gave them for the sole purpose of me to support me in what trying to live and tell, about myself and kidnapping and the government. And he told it. He worked for the Huntsville Times, April Fool Day of 80, when I was almost killed. Had a letter from the FBI, two of them, 79. And I'm not going to put this up again. It's just that I got in a campaign to replace Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald, who had written about in the book, and mind control. Then it becomes, I find later, that Tesla files were stolen. Illuminati was supposed to have had them. The FBI had them. Well, the Illuminati did. And Trump's uncle, George John Trump, MIT professor, had them, and now then Trump is president. As far as I know, Trump is the good guy. The rest of them are a bunch of garbage up there. They do not want to let me speak, I can assure you. Condoleezza Rice, Secretary of State from Alabama, you got everybody. If they don't know the Congress now, and you got Elizabeth Warren, Warren Commission covered up the JFK assassination because it would lead to my kidnapping and the takedown of my father Edward VIII, married to Claudia Ruth O'Keeffe, who was Queen of England, Irish. My family, O'Keeffes are Irish, and would probably their marriage, and it's just been deleted. They had my father marrying Wallace Warfield Simpson. They deleted the part that it's a lie, and she's an American spy and married a double. There were several doubles. But anyway, part of the Church of England, along with the Freemason, Illuminati, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, that when they took my father down, they succeeded in what they were doing, the global end-time government, the United Nations, that all came to be after they took my father down and kidnapped me. You talk about interfering in governments. My God, after all this hullabaloo that you are taking down Trump and all this, God help you if you're focused on me and my country and my mom and dad and what you did to my lovely children, heirs after me. Okay, you don't want the truth. I mean, it's so appalling. Anyway, I get into this, and I know that some of these letters have been gone for a few years, but I had the main ones left, but now they're gone. About the Jack and the FBI were in Huntsville, Alabama when I was kidnapped. They were there, but they weren't told that they were there, and he got into this whole thing about just what I've read here, the Tesla files, but he got into the whole bunch. But anyway, the FBI were there, but they would tell you they weren't there. And I look back and I know they took me to Bolton, Alabama, JFK did, and the Illuminati. His dad was ambassador to England in 1936, sole purpose to take out my dad because he would not go along with them. Now that I've read that, and I just wanted to read the couple of letters I have left. This is from Jack, and he's deceased. His cousin was Hank Hartsfield, who was the astronaut commander of two of the shuttles. He's deceased, but I mean, they're both older, and as far as I know, Jack died of natural causes, except he smoked a lot, and he was 3 years older than me. He's helped save my life, he and Salvador Bazzini. Okay, this is just a little bit up from Jack of what the couple of letters I have left. Good to hear from you, my lady, to sound as if you find some peace at least in your new digs. Well, that didn't happen. Hope it continues. You mentioned your latest letter that you enjoyed reading the clues in my epistles from time to time. So try this one for size. Don't know why I chose this date, Friday the 13th, to write this little ditty. Friday the 13th has also been considered unlucky in the world of the superstitious. but it is more than that. It was Friday the 13th, 1307, actually, October the 13th. Huh. That was somebody's birthday. It's two people's birthday, I'm supposed to know. 1307, when King Philip of France set out to destroy the order of the Templar Knights, forerunners of Masonic Freemasons in later centuries, decreeing all of these individual kingdoms worldwide arrested and persecuted for heresy. Excuse me. It wasn't hearsay or heresy, but the king's recognition that the Templar Knights held more financial control over the French Empire, and he wanted to destroy them all to confiscate their wealth. Many of the Templar Knights were persecuted and killed, but as fate would have it, others survived, fleeing to safety elsewhere. Okay, he's going, I don't know why other than these are the Masonic lodges and Freemasons. Okay, at the bottom line of that, Templar Knights, later Masonic Freemasons, held proof there was a continued bloodline of Jesus Christ, hence the Holy Grail. That bloodline has been carried down through the ages. Today's Easter, by the way. To this day, Masonic lodges and Freemasons, particularly Masons, who have risen to level of third degree, continue with secret rituals, much pomp and circumstance, many mysterious rituals handed down for centuries. I don't know if there's anything else. I wanted to read some. I only have about 4. I had like 20-something. It would be out of question that while participating Masons go through the motions of these rituals, even they may not fully understand the magnitude of those same rituals. Just thought you'd enjoy this as food for thought. It takes nothing away from Christianity, but it could also be enlightenment. In the darkest moments of these days in Huntsville, for me, an acquaintance, now deceased, came to me with a portrait of a wistful young woman alone on a bluff with a backdrop of crumbling column relics off in the mist. There was something in the glint of the young woman's eyes that seemed all-knowing and sad. This was a picture when he had up when I went out there March of 84, spring of 84. And I stopped by. He was in Santa Fe next to my Aunt Georgia O'Keefe, lived in Abiquiu, just a few miles away from Santa Fe. Jack had gone to work for the New Mexican News, and by the way, that's all. Just about everything in Jack's is gone now. I don't know what else is gone. Anyway, this was the picture that was up there. I spent a couple of weeks with him. And he was also assigned, he was undercover FBI at Alamos. I can't even talk at the moment. It seems nothing sacred. Anyway, this painting had to do with me. Jack had it up there. And I've forgotten what he said. Was saying the painting was inscribed Broken Silence. The broken silence was something I was pushing so hard to achieve, and at that time had no religious significance to me at all. This would come later, much later. Long after I had left Huntsville, I was studying the painting. The artist had been inscribed his name on the painting. I did a computer search to discover it was a pseudonym, not a real person at all, but a further search revealed the true name of the artist, a Freemason, born and reared in Alabama and deceased for more than 20 years. I still have that painting to this day. Well, I guess so. I saw it hanging up there, and I don't know, it just, And he talked about it for a minute when I was out there. I still have that painting today. When did he send this letter? Wait a minute, let me see. The letter was February 2009. Well, this is a long time after that. Yeah. So I knew that. I saw it. I don't think I ever told you, but the day after Mayor Joe Davis was defeated at the polls for another term in office, I had quietly come to Huntsville in my very infrequent visits and was sitting in the office with him looking over the city that I had loved so much at that time. You do know, I'm crying, I can't. You do know, Jack, that Sal Mazzini, the police chief, was maybe the best thing to ever happen to Huntsville, Joe said. That's the mayor, the Freemason. Sal Mazzini is the one I said is FBI, and there was a book he wrote a long time ago. He's FBI, and if he ever told all he knew, he'd be killed. Now, when I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80, he's brought over there as police chief to help Jack to keep me alive against Dempsey, who killed her twins. And as today, no one in all of this has been charged with a crime. It's ongoing, what's done to me and my children. And Jack, I hope there's a special place for him and those that did help. Okay, Mr. Mayor, I think you're right. This is Jack. I replied. Joe and I both knew the depths of the corruption that had befallen Huntsville over the years in the deaf ears of the Huntsville time. The rest of the power structure and criminal elements, and all these have been stolen. It's told about, Jack told. I always trusted Joe. He always trusted me. That when I was researching a biographical data sheet on Joe much later, there was one simple notation: Freemason. Take care, Jack.